What's up, guys? It's Josh back with SobrietyWod. If it's your first time, welcome. If you've been before, welcome back. Today we have a little class that I came up with that I'm calling the charged particle. Now, if you've been coming to these classes, you know sometimes I kind of dip into these like physics analogies, and I just think it's a good way to explain things sometimes, because a lot of this program is about connecting the physical to the non-physical, or the immaterial or the spiritual component of life. And you know, what I was thinking about is really kind of what is sobriety really about? You know, and there's a part in the big book that says that we are in much less danger of excitement, is the first thing that it starts with. And that's always stood out to me, in danger of excitement. You know, we don't think of, or I don't typically think of excitement as a negative thing, but you know, he was saying there that excitement for the addict is actually a dangerous place to be. And he listed it next to anger and fear, self-pity, some other things that we do typically think of as negative emotions. And so the idea I was thinking about is that, you know, sobriety really is serenity. It's freedom from those feelings. It's freedom from those cravings. We know what craving is. It's like there's this drive that's just compelling me to commit actions that if I was more sober-minded or more emotionally sober, I wouldn't have those compulsions. And so another way to think about it is of being neutral, of sobriety being neutrality. It means we're not being pushed or pulled in any direction. And so the little quote that I took out the big book today, it says, "We are not fighting it, neither are we avoiding temptation. We feel as though we have been placed in a position of neutrality, safe and protected." I don't know if this is your experience, but it has been my experience that through this spiritual experience of recovery, that drive sort of went away, that those cravings went away. And I don't feel like I'm in this daily battle of trying not to do this same thing over and over. Just to kind of go along with the analogy, you know, in physics, a negatively charged particle attracts and is attracted to a positively charged particle. And that's like electrons. And then protons are positively charged. They're attracted to and attracted by negatively charged particles. But there's another particle called a neutron that's kind of like in the middle of there, and it's not attracted to and it's not attracted from anything. And I thought that was a good sort of representation of neutrality. It's there, but it doesn't have to go one way, it doesn't have to go another way. It's not being pushed or pulled, it's kind of just on its own. And I thought that was a good picture of what serenity and sobriety feels like. We're free to sort of make decisions based on facts, and not feelings. We're not feeling like we're wrestling with stuff all the time. And there's sort of just this kind of peace that comes over us that allows us to think through things and to make decisions based on our beliefs and our ideals rather than on the way we feel. So for your discussion today, and we'll pull it all together in a second, but for your discussion today, if you guys want to talk about how the emotions of excitement, fear, anger, worry, and self-pity are linked to our instincts. And the idea here was, you know, these emotions that we feel are typically tied to human instincts. A lot of it is fear. So, you know, we have some very basic human instincts. One of them is survival. That's the one we can talk about right now. And, you know, there's some things that we need for survival. So there is like monetary, you know, financial, we need means, we need shelter, we need food. And I find that when you mess with any of those things, or if any of those things seem like they're not going to be taken care of, that's when we can start to feel these emotions. Other thing is a social instinct. We have this instinct to be accepted or to fit into a community. And so you watch these shows like Big Brother or some of these drama shows or whatever, and it's like, that's kind of where those feelings come from, is this anxiety of like, oh man, what are people gonna think if I do this? Or what are people gonna say if I do that? And so these instincts drive these emotions. And these emotions, like the ones listed of excitement could be, I'm about to eat. How many of you guys get excited when you're about to eat? Fear, I'm about to not eat. You can kind of tie it into that. Anger, I was about to eat and now I can't. Worry, I may never get to eat again. And self-pity, oh man, I didn't get to eat what I wanted. I'm just tying it into something like that, but it is something that affects us on a deep instinctual level. So for your discussions, if you just talk about how those different emotions, excitement, fear, anger, worry, and self-pity, are linked to instincts, and then we'll come back around and kind of talk about instincts and fitness.